about a week, I picked up my truck and there was a lot of issues with it. So yeah, I had to get my airlines replaced today because the last ones, it just wasn't done right. It got caught on the tire and it all popped. But I feel like every time anyone wants to look at some of the trucks at Swift, there's not enough videos on it or what they look like or how they would be. So I just wanted to show, what it looks like. It's a very, very clean truck. I'm really happy that Swift, gave everybody the Cummins. At Prime, everybody has that PACCAR engine, and the PACCAR engine is just not great. A lot of bad experience with the PACCAR, a lot of bad experience with the peterbilt, so I'm glad I have it. So far, I haven't had zero issues with the engine. I did have to come in here and replace the fuse for my trailer clearance lights because my clearance lights on my trailer weren't really working. Yeah, it is a Cummins. And I don't know if you close the hood and the peterbilt again, it's last. Walking around, Swift gives you the window on this side. It's a lot bigger than the Freightliner. I feel like they ain't no one to give you enough look at the side boxes, but the side boxes are completely, I'll move that way, completely pass through to the other side. And you can also access it from under the bunk. HVAC controls are all down here. Your def caps, they're diesel caps are locked on this side. Your def's over there. You have the airlines for Swift if you guys have a spare tire. All the Peterbilts come with a CB antenna mount at the top. I do have a 2022 trailer. We'll go over that a little bit later. But for the fifth wheel, all the Swift trucks have this air release. Unfortunately, my air release is not working. I've been in and out of shops at Swift with everyone trying to figure it out. It's been very helpful, but it's been a process. So, currently in the Vegas terminal. Moving on to the side of the truck, obviously, you get that Peterbilt stamp on the door. I love the speakers on this truck. It's a really nice step up from the Freightliner and the International. Of course, my dog rolled down my windows on me. So with that Peterbilt, you get that really nice digital dash. You don't really have that in some of these other trucks, especially Freightliners, that little tiny screen. When you're idle, it tells you how much fuel you're going through per gallon an hour. And your diesel gauge, your def gauge, and when you're driving, it gives you your fuel economy. I've been getting about 12 miles to the gallon with this truck, which is actually really, really good. And as well as the Peterbilt, so you can move all these gauges, and it give you the information that you want it to give you. Air restrict, that's for your DPF filter, your torque, oil temperature, oil pressure, suspension load. I'm currently loaded, but I'm loaded really light. That's why it's 33 to 34 pounds. Boost, that's how much air is going through your turbo to give you more power. With your speed, as well as your RPMs are written down here, as well as your physical tachometer out here. Your air pressure is right there. You have both tanks, your coolant temperature, and your brake pressure. When you press on the brake, it responds. Brand new truck. It's only got 31,000 miles. It was given to me about 28,000. So far, I've had very minor issues. apart from that clearance light, I've had number one thing is I've been, you know, in and out of shops. Nobody can tell me what's wrong, but I'll get into that in a minute. I'll do the walk around of the truck. You get that Peterbilt steering wheel. Your cruise control is over here. Not too sure what this G marker does, but that's the button for it. All your music's here. It's the same stereo as the Freightliner that you get in pretty much every company. Prime, Wilson, you know, here at Swift is pretty much the same. Your Peterbilt, you actually set what temperature you want on your air. You press auto and it'll hold that temp. All the normal options and overrides. You have this light test button. And when you hold it, it should, well, it looks like it doesn't want to because I'm trying to show it off, flick through all the lights and go through that for you, as well as on this side, you get your four-way flashes. Your work light, so this is the lights on the back of the cab. This is your dome lights. Now on the Peterbilt, on the Freightliner, you have just the light up there. On the Peterbilt, you have the dome light up there, as well as you have a light here and a light there, as well as you physically have these other buttons that you can, other lights that you can turn on. These little speakers are just for your lane departure. As well as your lane departure is shown here. When you leave your left lane, you have a light will come on here and a little buzzer over here, and a light will come on this side if you're passing over the right lane. The buzzer would come on there. Light off. So this is for your four-way flashers. You just toggle it. On the Peterbilt, everything pulls up. I know on the Freightliner, everything's like a push button. Your lights are this little dial right here. You know, this is off, day runners, headlights, and it all illuminates on the top of the dash, as well as your battery voltage. It's 111 degrees outside. Whenever I'm parked, I keep my marker lights on, whether, you know, I'm in the truck, out of the truck, doesn't matter, my marker lights are on. If I'm driving, my headlights are on. As well as with the Peterbilt, you have this little preacher button, you just toggle that, and it'll run through a full system check. So the Peterbilt will go through and it will show you all the different sensors and make sure everything's working properly. It'll cycle through your lights. System check complete, and to exit that, you're pressing on a little dial thing, and it goes back to your home screen, as well as it'll give you all your, you know, your different trip information and your truck, you know, truck information, you know, chassis number to Cummins X15. Just go ahead and get out of that. Get out of all that. This is the tablet that they give you. All your loads will appear through here. And when you've completed them and you send in your paperwork and you're taken off of it, you'll get this little money sign that shows, I believe it shows it's paid, you know, that it's ready to be paid out. I'm not too sure how it works. Honestly, on the owner-operator side, I wish Swift did a little bit more training for the owner-operators. I just did a road test and they gave me the keys. So there was no instructions on how to use any of the equipment, nothing. For a GPS, I used a Garmin 1020. I was able to mount it all right here. My phone mount goes here, and it's all sectioned on there, so it might move. I didn't, you know, the Nat 9 camera system, I did put a, you know, big piece of tape over it because they said we could. It faces outwards and to both sides. So what I've noticed is that I feel like it can, you know, it can see your, they tell you up front it can see your windows. So what I've noticed is when you're driving during the day, you know, they can't really see in, but at night, any light in here reflects on the windows, and so they know what you're doing. That camera knows everything. I'm not fully moved into this truck, so everything's kind of a mess. But the Peterbilt, you get a little cubby here. I'm not sure what this cubby's for, but you have another cubby here and a cubby here, and then there's this little hole here. On almost every other Peterbilt, this is supposed to be where the CB would go. This, I don't know why there's a cover here, but there's a cover here. And if it was equipped, this is where the external speaker for the CB radio would go with all the Peterbilts. They actually would have a wire hooked up in here to the speaker, so when you're using your CB, it would come out of the speaker so you can hear it better. Instead, there's this physical CB mount up here. There's a little wire to hook it up. I haven't done it yet. I have my own CB. It's just in my car. I got a load and I was rushing out, and you just mount it with your positive and your negative terminals. There's no like enclosed cabinets up front, so right now I just have like my vest and paper towels and Windex. I like to keep my mirrors clean so I can, and my windows so I can see everything. And then you have the same thing on the passenger side. Right now this is really just all dog treats and a trash bags for goofball over here. A lot of the Peterbilts have the leather seats. I ended up getting the cloth seats. A little bit bummed out because I wanted the leather, but these cloth seats are actually a lot more comfortable than the cloth seats in the Freightliner. I don't mind it as much. It's nice. Plus it's like really easy to clean. He's a very hairy dog, but it all just kind of wipes right up. I have a shop vac, but it's currently in my car. So your curtains wrap around front like every other truck. I can't really figure out how to get this to stay shut. I was thinking it was a magnet, but it's just not working right. You have a little button here. I pulled these out to help insulate the cab a little bit better. I usually keep them open. It's a lot more open cab, but for how hot it is right now, there's over 100 degrees outside. You can see it's 110 degrees out there. So I have them closed to help keep the cool back here. My bed was made, but can't have anything nice with him. He's a good dog though. Up here, we'll start up top. You do have a full, just an empty bag, compartment up here for whoever's sleeping up top. There's a little cubby to put their stuff in, little cup holder, and they do have a power outlet up here, as well as they do have AC right there and right there. So I have AC on both sides. On the Freightliner, you only had like one air vent, and it was like coming out right here out of this cabinet. And whenever you're sleeping up there, when the Freightliner got really, really hot, it just didn't work out too well. So I like that. Currently, I just jumped in my truck and started rolling because I was behind. So I still have a lot of organizing to do. Plus, I need to throw that away. We already finished that this morning. We gotta get rid of that. They do give you the bed right out of the gate for the top bunk. This is all clean laundry. I just haven't put it in my closet yet. That's part of being lazy, but I will be getting it done tonight. As well as you have speakers up top on each side. It does sound really good in here. The same thing on the passenger side. This is got the cup holders. So I keep my, I got a few movies up here. Megan Levy, Forrest Gump, Top Gun. The permit book, I think it's strange that Swift is one of the very few companies that just give you a folder for everything. But, every other company I've been to, they give you an actual binder or a leather case to put it in. This was literally just, they tossed it in a folder. At one point, I was driving for FedEx Custom Critical. That's the main reason why I have FedEx envelopes for a lot of my stuff. I keep, I have a FedEx envelope where I keep all my DOT med cards and paperwork like that. Moving down to this side, you have the closet. You have a full mirror. Again, that's a bag of clean laundry. You just got to, finish going through everything. You have a little cubby here. You get a mirror. Very nice mirror. The Peterbilt, they give you, the fridge is already here. Kind of wish there was room for another fridge because this fridge is not big, but it is a bigger fridge than the Freightliner. So, you take what you can get. You have a little freezer here. It's also bigger than the one in the Freightliner. You have this little drawer cubby here. I haven't put anything else in here, but I did find out that it's not gonna work with this because this is a little too tall. But it is sized perfectly for those little 12-ounce soda cans that you could put a whole 24-pack in here, and it will fit and close right here at the fridge. And you can open and close it with the fridge open, and put your sodas up in here. I don't really have a lot of food in here. Like I said, I didn't even get to go to Walmart. I just grabbed my truck, went on the load board, grabbed the load, and left. I'm a lease operator, so I have that load board and my TV that I still need to mount. Goes up here. They didn't really give me any screws for the mount. There's a little light over here. Let's turn that on. This is a little power outlet. On the passenger side of the truck, they only give you a vent. I'm a little bummed out about, because when you saw all the videos when they did their truck tours, you saw the windows on each side, and Prime actually gives you a door on that side. The vent's actually not that bad. The vent's nice. I kind of like it, but I kind of wish I had a window, because if you ever blindside, which you really don't want to, you could look out that window, and so you're not entirely blind. You do get two giant cubbies on both sides. I know I'm just showing my mess at this point, but I got my computer, my PlayStation, the Xbox I forgot in the car, unfortunately. That's a dirty controller. But PlayStation. Have a portable monitor as a backup. Actually works really nice. You wouldn't think it would be too nice, but it's a nice monitor. On this side, I have my microwave. I'm not gonna go ahead and open that because my skillet and everything's in there, and I gotta clean it. So I have noticed with the Peterbilt that they don't give you any outlets. So that's why all these wires are across the floor. This is just my attempt to making wiring, and when I get by a Walmart, I'm gonna get some command hooks and stuff and get the wires up off the floor, because I don't like it on the floor. It looks nasty. This is supposed to be the controller for the auto start, but unfortunately my auto start's not working properly, and I'll go ahead and make a video on that. I'll show you guys what's wrong with it and how it's supposed to work. You have your full controls back here. Swift gives you a little panic button. I thought that was cool. When you press the panic button in this truck, it will honk your horn, and it'll keep honking it until you turn it off. If somebody's messing with you or whatever, you have that. You can lock your doors from right here at the bunk, so you can turn it on and off. Your sleeper dome lights. You have a little radio controller here. Turn that on and off. Anything that you can do from up there with that one, you can do from back here. I do like that you have this little cubby here right now. This is my Wi-Fi. It's not on right now. I'll be turning it back on. It's decent Wi-Fi. Melatonin, don't even use it, but I have it just for those nights you can't sleep. I do like to give you cup holders. You do again have air vents on each side of the bed. Hi, Pooch. The window is definitely a lot bigger than the International and the Freightliner. It's a really nice window. I like it. I don't know what all you could do with it. I see I can open it like that. Kind of wish if we can open it up more and pass stuff through it to load the truck with groceries instead of climbing in and out like that. But you can't complain. Extra light up here. You have this little cubby. Again, my stuff is just in here at the moment. I will be organizing my truck this weekend. I set aside some time to organize it. Very deep cabinet, goes all the way back to that wall. Very deep cabinet. Close. You do have this pull-out style drawer, and you do get this nice table. It's a lot more sturdy than the one on the Freightliner. They had one right here, and it slid out, and it was really flimsy, and it's hard to use. The only thing I don't like about this is, my laptop, I grab my laptop, is so large that it fits on here, but it just barely fits here. So if I wanted to use a mouse, I can't really use a mouse. Let that boot up. As well as you do have this lift up cubby, and then this is the door right here at the moment. All this is just bills of lading from all the loads I ran this week. I got this truck and I ran as hard as I could just to get some paychecks in. I want to make sure I get some money behind me. You do have one more cabinet. It is right here. It's really opens pretty like wide width. It is very deep. There's the whole wall of the truck. We put a lot of stuff in bags in here. I think I'm gonna try to make this into a pantry or organize it in some type of way. Once I get my truck in order, I know it doesn't look like pigsty, because this is terrible. Once it looks better, I'm considering possibly being a mentor. I do have just shy of 2 years experience behind me. I'll get that set up for my load board. I'll do a different video on the load board. Considering being a mentor, I've trained a few people with Wilson and Prime. I didn't do the full training. I only got to help teach them out of the back, take them to the caves or wherever they need help with. Passing that pre-trip. If anybody needs help passing the pre-trip or any part of that test, I'm really good at helping with that. I did go through the same school that pretty much all you guys went through. I went through Wilson CDL school. I did have some bad experiences with Wilson, but Wilson was a pretty good company. And they have some really amazing trainers. More of my issues were primarily with my truck at Wilson. That's the only issue I had with them. That's pretty much it for the truck. I'll walk around to the passenger side. Yeah, he rolled down the window already. Very nice truck. For their trailers, I'll walk around with the trailer. Swift, everybody kind of beats up the trailers, but it's a training company, so you're gonna run into that like this, all these divots. Somebody hit something. I don't know what you got to do that, but you know what? People they come to Swift to learn, and I feel like Swift, is very understanding for some of these people. I haven't really met anybody who's been in an accident yet. I've seen some close calls, but I'd rather get out and help than let somebody mess up because it's a stamp on their career. So whenever I see somebody struggling, I like to get out there and help them. I like the new blue on the back of these trailers. Very nice. I am loaded. I got my seal, my lock, and I hate when shippers do that. It just looks bad. That is the old trailer design. The one that's the best in class is the old Swift. That's the old trailer design. I believe they stopped in like 1819, and all the new ones have this blue, which actually I like the shield. It's a lot better. One thing I don't like, really the only thing I haven't liked about Swift is the fact that these trailers. So when you slide the tandems, you have this pull handle. You gotta pull this handle and slide the tandems. At every other company you'll have a little button. It's air release, and you just pull it, and the tandems will go in, and you slide your tandems, and then you would either come back out here and push the button back in, or what you could do is push supply air to the trailer for a few seconds, pull the brake, and then tug on it, and it'll lock it into place, and you just get out and verify that all 4 pins are in place. Swift trailers they're not all in the greatest shape, but they're not all in a bad shape. This is a pretty decent trailer. Some of them are like the old ones where it's on the passenger side. Some of them are pretty beat up. But so far, with my 1 week at Swift, You know, they've been very helpful. I wish there was a little bit more information out of the gate, but they've been very helpful with me. I have a very pretty truck. I am lease purchase, and I'm, you know, looking forward to possibly owning this truck at the end. I know you don't really want to say that because a lot of companies, you know, you don't get the, you usually walk away with no money and no truck. But so far, you know, I haven't had an issue. That load board's been nice. I do have refrigerated experience, so maybe one day they'll let me pull one of these Swift reefer trailers. They don't look too bad. I have you know, I've only been with Swift for a week, so in the 1 week, this is the first time I've ever touched a drive-in. I've only ever hauled refrigerator for the past year and a half. Done Prime, FedEx Custom Critical. I love Custom Critical. I was with Highfield for Panther. Love Panther. The only thing I have against that is those are companies where you only run like Monday to Friday, and you're parked for like 4 or 5. So it's like a 9 to 5 job. And for me, I don't like the 9 to 5 sort of things. I like to do my own thing, and a lot of these companies, you don't really get to do that. But Swift, with that low board, I pick where I go. It's been nice. This is the inside one of the older trailers. They're all pretty much the same. You got insulated wall and your E-track straps. Well, that's pretty much it for my truck tour. And if you guys have any more questions, please let me know. And as well as I'll make a separate video asking people how to help, you know, asking for help with the auto start. I can hold the button and it'll engage. And it'll say auto start engaged, and then there'll be no air in the back. And the truck will not start. When the batteries come down enough, it'll beep and it will not start. So far, what I've heard is my parameters are set wrong, so we're gonna go to a shop and get that looked at. But again, you know, thank you anybody who's watched the video, and if you guys have any more, you know, any questions or anything that you guys think you need help with, I'm really only gonna be making these videos to try to help people. If you need help with anything, whether it's, you know, your pre-trip, your trainings, anything with backing tips, anything like figuring out how to work that load board, if you're going owner operator, or how anything works, just go ahead and leave a comment, and I'll get back to you. And if I can, I'll make a video on how to help you guys out. And thank you for everything. Goodbye.